Hey, so I'm here. It's time for another Bachelor in Paradise recap. I missed last week because I was super busy, so I'm just gonna sum it up in like 2 or 3 sentences. Suddenly, every man is fighting over scallop fingers. Daniel came on the show and finally brought a sense of humor, thank God, and he and Lacey hooked up. Corinne came on and told her side of the story, and I'm so tired of hearing about it. Let's just move on, please. That's basically all you need to know about last week, so let's get into this week, okay? Now we are into episode 7 and 8 / week 4, part 1 and 2, whatever. We open on this show and Dean is in a hot mess express. Thank you, Dominique. That is the perfect term for the love triangle that Dean finds himself in. And long story short, basically Christina finally gets a backbone and decides to stand up for herself and leaves the show. Good for you. I don't think that he and D'Lo are gonna last at all. Just from looking at his Instagram, I don't follow him anymore, as you all know, but I heard about it, so I looked at it. He posted a picture of he and Christina together. It looks like maybe her standing up for herself resulted in them getting back together after the show. Who knows? Honestly, I don't think she should be with him at all because he is a fuckboy, but you know, some people just are crazy for each other. Let's rewind and see what happened in this episode. Dean didn't realize that Christina had seen him and D'Lo making out in the pool, so he is in for a lot of trouble. Jasmine forces herself on Jonathan, aka Tickle Monster, and he goes with it. I just don't get it. I don't get why she keeps like attacking people and making out with them. Blake and Fred both show up. Blake gets an awful reception and won't stop talking about Waboom. Fred, it seems like everyone really likes him, and he's putting Dominique's relationship with Diggy in danger. So after Blake asks pretty much everyone else on the island, he asks Scallop Fingers on a date, and she says yes, of course. I mean, she'll go on a date with anyone, as long as they feed her scallops. Jack Stone stays back while Kristen goes on the date, and then he manages to make out with everyone in Paradise. Somehow they started some sort of game to test out whether or not he's a good kisser. He made out with Jasmine, Raven, and even D'Lo. I mean, they must be really bored if this is their only activity they can do to pass the time. Meanwhile, there's a double date with Fred, Dom, Blake, and Kristen, aka Scallop Fingers. They're boating and ziplining, and honestly, they didn't really show us that much of the date, so I didn't know how it went until after. I wish they would show us more of these dates instead of just the drama at the house, but whatever. Robbie and Amanda get a date card and they go to a little cute Mexican carnival. And it seems like they're getting serious. You know, I just don't think that Robbie, as a social media influencer, is ready to be with someone who has kids. Amanda, as much as I love her and as beautiful as she is, I think she might be an EBP. That's emotionally broken psycho, for those of you who are not familiar. So then, towards the end of this episode, Ben Z decides to leave. Wow, I guess he was taking this pretty seriously. Either that or he just really missed his dog. Scallop Fingers, aka Kristen, finally finds out about her nickname, and she says that it's really rude they've been talking behind her back and calling her this name. You know what, I agree, they were really mean girling her over this. I mean, nobody wants to be named after seafood, especially if you're a girl, you know? Nobody wants to think that that's the way you smell. So then, we get into episode 8. Jamie shows up and she's bisexual, so this is gonna be like a wild card, right? No, it's not a wild card because she just picks Diggy. They go on a really boring date where they just drink margaritas out of plastic cups and then they make out. I don't know where that's going, but apparently Diggy is in some sort of love triangle with Jamie and Dominique now. It's just annoying because literally every new person that shows up on Paradise this season is just trying to take someone on a date to take them out of a relationship, and it's like, it's just predictable. And their date itself was really boring. I don't really have much to say about it. I'm glad Diggy is open to her fluid lifestyle. Then, finally, the twins show up. I have to say, they're very different than they were before. They've really learned how to play the game. It's clear that they don't really give a fuck about falling in love or any of the other stuff that they thought about before. They're just here to like wreck shit. Also, I finally figured out how to tell them apart. I think Emily has the smaller nose, Haley has the bigger nose, and also, as they told us, Haley has a better vagina. So Emily came in wanting Dean and Haley came in wanting Derek. Both of those dudes are in relationships. Dean, shockingly, actually said no to a date with Emily. I guess that maybe he's just too tired of being yelled at by girls in Paradise, so he didn't want to put himself in another situation with D'Lo. So Emily asks Tickle Monster instead, and he says yes, obviously. Haley doesn't even bother asking Derek because it's really clear that he's in deep with Taylor, so she asks Jack Stone instead, and he says yes. Right before they're about to leave for the date, Jack Stone decides to stay with Kristen and not go on the date, which is so dumb. None of these relationships are even real anyway. I mean, just go. Anyway, Emily flips out. I think she's just had it because she's not used to anybody rejecting her, and this is just more rejection than she can take in one day, and she tells everyone to go fuck themselves. My favorite part of this episode was that they did a quick cutaway to Robbie, who's like totally drunk, and he's like, well, I didn't do anything. No, you didn't, Robbie. You didn't do anything. You were too busy drinking and throwing glow sticks in the pool. Second favorite line of the night, although it made me kind of mad. Jack Stone said he thinks the twins will be fine, that they're just gonna go home and watch Frozen and play with their fidget spinners. Was that a jab at millennials, Jack Stone? Because if so, it wasn't a very good one. All right, so yeah, I'm keeping it short and sweet this week. That's your recap for Bachelor in Paradise week 4. I'm curious to see what happens in the finale. I think that Taylor and Derek are definitely gonna get engaged. I saw from the tabloids that Robbie and Amanda are already not together, so I don't think that's gonna happen. What do you guys think? Who do you think Diggy is going to pick in this love triangle? Is he gonna pick Dom? Is he gonna pick Jamie? Also, what do you think of the new Bachelor that just got announced? Are you excited about Ari? Let me know in the comments. All right, thanks. Please hit that like button, subscribe, whatever, all the good stuff, and I'll see you soon.